know. Announce it places. The link is in the Diamond chat, by the way.
Alright.
Oh, and they've already made the program. Oh, I guess they get side select, so. They named him M. Bison? That's pretty cool.
I'm logged on, by the way.
Oh. I can just invite you. If you want.
Thanks.
That's easier than putting in the tournament code.
Oh, that's true. Forgot about that. They're not even in here. Lol.
No, it's just the boys so far. Maybe they'll forfeit. That would be kind of a shitty way to win a playoff.
Definitely anticlimactic. Make announcement. Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Perfect. They're probably playing the mind games. They're just gonna all show up at the exact same time wearing the same icon. And we'll be demoralized from the start. I always post this in a bunch of other like channels, and I don't know that anybody ever like looks at any of them, so that's it. Your meme chat?
No, like I post in the like streamers chats in like Legends and a couple of other ones.
Oh, that's right.
And I doubt anybody even has them on. Like I don't have them on, so I don't really know what the point is. But
Some people might be interested. You never know.
I don't feel like a lot of people are. Like I'm half surprised as many people as they do haven't turned off the like announcements channel when they're turning Middlesticks.
Uh-huh.
I guess like literally the last like 6 streams. Before that was
Draft music is kicking.
Yeah, I really like these. I picked some good ones out, some bangers.
Copyright free, of course.
There was one that we got like muted for, but I don't know which one it is, so I can't like go back and
Right.
change that. Also, their logo's kind of weird. I don't know. Like, I can't decide if it's like a side shot or a frontal shot of a bison.
Right.
And it like, I guess you'll have to see it when I put it on. But
So you're saying it's no FTD, like we had last week?
I mean, we actually have sound where we can discuss the logo this time. So that's...
Yeah, I guess nobody's getting my callbacks considering they didn't hear it from last week's stream.
Oh man.
Yep. What? So you'll know. Yeah. UMB? Oh. I'm learning about the enemy team. I'll go yellow. I
Oh,
think, rather
that
than-
must be it then.
I didn't realize it was the University of Manitoba, especially because like the link for their Twitter is just like Manitoba Esports. It looks like just a generic like area league almost, but I guess it makes sense that it's the. I don't know that brown would show up or I'd do that. 'Cause that's like the main color in this logo.
Sorry, I'm a little quiet. I just got pulled in from. I was sitting in the academy production room and being very quiet in there, so I was like switching from complete silence to like casting. It's fun.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff looks super neat. It's like the heat maps you've been working on. What else? What's the other tech? What is the liposuction lane special?
Yeah, so we do all of the live updating graphics, and all of the scoreboard data is populated by our program. So we do like current gold and current experience, the gold difference graph between the two teams, and then a team fight damage graph, and then all of the numbers that you see on the custom overlay are all populated by our program as well. And then we just added today, actually, we added a jungle proximity and forward percentage graphic for the analyst desk.
Damn.
Yeah, we're actually we got it announced today also that we signed for the second academy tournament that's coming up here in a couple weeks too. So very excited for that.
That's really cool. Everybody's doing really cool stuff, and I'm just here on the Middlesticks stream yelling at my computer. So
This is cool stuff. Why is this not cool stuff? I love this stuff.
I beg other people to make my graphics for me, and then I add random crow gifs, and I consider that my contribution.
It's a great contribution. These crow gifs are worth more than anything that I've done over the Academy stream, for sure.
We're waiting on teams to ready up. It looks like Manitoba's readied, and they've started. Okay, so welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I'm on camera. I can't just relax like that. All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to UML Playoffs Round 1. It's the round of 24. My name is Maristematic. My guest caster for game number 1 is going to be Liposuction Lane, and then we're doing a caster swap for game 2. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But Return of the Middlesticks taking on the Manitoba Bisons. Bisons feels like a weird plural.
It does, but it is the plural. So.
Yeah. ROTM, the number 2 seed from the Elder Division. the Bisons are the number 3 seed from the Infernal Division. Winner of this playoff series is going to take on the Ohio State University in the next round. So, a lot of stakes, of course. The continued playoff lives of these teams in the balance, as Olaf, Udir, and Rel have been taken away for game number 1.
Yeah, so far, just I mean, they must have seen the Return of the Middlesticks Synapse clip. Black Salt getting that 5-man engage with the Rel, and I'm assuming that ban is going to be Aurelia because it should just flash.
That was weird. It I guess that was the hover, and they just didn't quite hit the ban button.
Yeah, pro draft problems. Am I right?
With the Seraphine ban, so this is kind of interesting. The red side bans right now in pro play are Udir, Seraphine, Rel. But because Udir and Seraphine are being banned blue side by ROTM, it's opening up the Bisons to ban a couple of other things, including Tendi's Irelia. But they're going to lock the Camille first for Tendi's.
Yeah, and this is going to be interesting. I expect Return of the Middlesticks to look for a potential Galio in the next 2 picks to pair with that, whether it be at support or mid lane. But we'll have to see what the Bisons decide to answer back with, knowing the Camille already in the first round.
Yeah, Hecarim would be a nice takeaway, and they'll lock that one in. So at the same time, a takeaway from Ikado, also one of the stronger junglers left on the table. Of course, other very quick moving with the Chem Tank junglers are still left, but I don't know what Ikado plays of those. But that Jax is going to be the counter pick for Tiger Clown into Tendi's Camille.
Yeah, and we've seen that counter pick not work out for other teams, so we'll have to see how the Bisons pilot it. But the counter matchup for Tendi's has not worked, and we are going to see that Galio lock in. Of course, the really good combo, Camille ult, Galio ult, you just can't go anywhere, and you're really sad. So makes a lot of sense to see that pick come through.
Yeah, and the Jhin, one of the more comfortable champions for Samso. Feels like a pretty natural lock-in, and of course you can flex a Galio. Mid lane Hokage and Black Salt have both shown pretty good performances on it so far, and the Thresh is going to be locked in for the Manitoba Bison as we head into that second ban phase. Probably going to target, I would have imagined some junglers, but it looks like support's going to be the priority for the Bisons.
Yeah, it is possible that they're just trying to ban out supports to force this kind of flex pick to the support role. I could see that being an angle, but notably, no jungler was picked for RTM, so the Ivern is banned away, and that's some priority junglers that are already down with the Olaf, Udir, and Ivern off the table. So we'll have to see with what Ikeda decides to go with here. Bison's getting first pick in this round.
Yeah, the traditional pro pick left would be Skarner, but I don't know how many games of Skarner Ikedo's played recently, so I don't want to hedge my bet on that pick. But for the Bisons now, probably looking for an AD carry here, and then they can counter mid lane once they have a full idea, and it's going to be the Xayah, which is kind of an interesting champion into Jhin. It's been more popular as the counter to Kai'Sa, but going to come in here against the Jhin.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting for RTM here to see what they decide to choose, if they want to pick their mid laner here, and then kind of get rid of their flex, but I'm assuming that they'll pick jungle since they already know that that's up.
And Braum gonna lock in, so that does mean that the Galio will go mid, and I kind of want to see a little bit of damage here from my Kato. You've got the tanky front line with the Galio, Camille, and Braum. I think you can get away with a pick maybe, but you have to be careful, of course, against the Hecarim and a potential, very strong shoving mid matchup if the Bison are, putting all their eggs in the counter basket.
We could see the Lilia come through here. Oh, and just as I say it, I was thinking with all the magic damage, or with the lack of magic damage, the Galio not being a huge magic damage dealer, that we might see the Lilia. It does seem like something that Ikado is very comfortable on. So no surprise to see him pick it up there with the last pick.
Yeah, so now the counter for mid lane for Kept 1. And we'll see where he wants to go into the Galio, which you should know for certain, and it's going to be a Swain lock-in. I like that pick a lot.
Yeah, I do too. It's It's really nice because Swain, usually you can't pick him as easily because a lot of champs outrange you, but Galio being one of those melee bruiser AP champions makes it so that you have to be close range with Swain, and it makes it a lot easier to hit your Q and get your root off as well.
Yeah, plus the Camille and Galio combo really want to dive into the backline, and now Swain is just such a hard target to dive. He gets back a gigantic amount of health with his Ravenous Flock, and then detonates that into the Bird Bomb, and can turn some of those dives sideways potentially. Plus, Elidos? That's probably a butcher. I'm sorry. On the Xayah, we'll have the Feather Storm in order to help him negate some of that dive. So it feels like the tools to counter the Camille Galio are there, and it's going to really rely on the other 3 members of our team to have a really strong team fight.
Yeah, that's for sure. And as always, if we get any names wrong and someone from the enemy team is here, just go ahead and let us know. We'd love to get the pronunciations correct. That's what we're here to do.
Yeah, we're not going to be jerks about it, especially if we're massacring a name. Oh, Lord, no, I massacred Vbon's name for 2 or 3 years before he finally corrected me. So, we're just going through this second pick and ban phase again. The number 2 seed from the Elder Division, Return of the Middlesticks, versus the number 3 seed from the Infernal Division, the Manitoba Bisons. RTM 4-1 in their bracket, and then lost a tiebreaker, unfortunately, to lose that 1 seed. And the Bisons, meanwhile, the beneficiary of a 3-way tiebreaker, where they had 3 teams in their group tied at 2 and 3, and were able to come through on game score. A lot of 2-1 series, even against an undefeated team at the top of their bracket. So a dangerous team to be sure on the side of the Manitoba Bisons, and these team comps look like both teams are pretty ready to go for this.
Yeah, that's for sure. It will be an interesting game 1. It's definitely something that RTM looks like they got out of draft with something they're very comfortable with. We've seen these champions for RTM so many times. But I think on the other side, the Bisons really have a nice grouping of counter picks. They got the counter pick in mid lane, the counter pick in top, because RTM decided to pick those champs in the first rotation. And I don't know if RTM got much compensation for it. So we'll have to see if the Bisons are able to use those counter matchups to their advantage. And then for RTM, it'll be that Galio Camille combo. See if they can use that in the side lane to just start snowballing Tendies even further. Should be a good matchup here.
Yeah, our team leveraged their side selection in game number 1 to pick blue side, and then use their blue side advantage to pick Tendi's Camille as their preferred power pick of choice. And it's going to come down to them, you know, playing kind of like normal, playing through Tendi's Camille, because the rest of this team comp doesn't do a huge amount of damage. Like Samsol, it can get in there. Aikedo can, depending on his build, but you're not really expecting Galio to output just a gigantic amount of damage, especially when he's trapped in that Swain lane.
Yeah, that's for sure. The Swain should be able to keep him down pretty well. Hopefully the Galio will be able to survive the early storm and just try to get to that level 6 as soon as possible, and then get off out of mid lane and roam to either bot or top.
But yeah, like you mentioned, it's pretty much counter picks across the board. The one lane that our team got to counter was the jungle. They got the Lilia to Hecarim matchup, which feels just like a skill matchup, honestly. Like I don't feel like Lilia significantly outperforms Hecarim in pretty much any function.
Yeah, I would agree. I think of it as like the battle of the 2 horses. I know Lilia is technically a deer, but in my mind, it's just fast horses running around the map, and that's kind of the matchup in a nutshell, is whoever can outspeed the other.
Yeah, so they're both ungulates. They're both hoofed mammals. So
learning new words. Thank you.
I also like the equestrian comp if you have both of them. But, and you have Rel as well.
There you go.
But,
Oh, and if you get Kled in there too, then you really got the equestrian comp.
But yeah, ungulate, the hoofed animal, or the hoofed mammal specifically. Um, all I can think of is there was the one MSI tournament that they had Monte Cristo and Doa cast, and Doa got to just like pop off on a tri-cast, basically. That's where the supportal combat came from. He also made sure that everybody knew that Tom Kench was a catfish. So he wasn't fishing, he was noodling specifically, is a catfish thing, I guess. It was very important to Doa that everybody knew that, and that hasn't left me.
Well, it seems to make its point, and you know. Oh man.
Well, 30 seconds left on the spectator delay. Thank you guys for joining us here on the Return of the Middlesticks stream. This should be a really hype matchup for the round of 24. I'm excited to see these two teams go at it. Return of the Middlesticks had a better regular split, but the Bisons have significantly higher solo queue ranks, so this should be a pretty good brawl between these two teams, and I'm really excited. Again, thank you for joining us. If you have not hit follow on the stream, please hit the follow button, as that does support us. We're one away from 100, which is super neat considering we started this stream about a year ago, and yeah, it's really cool to see that growth. But we'll head into game number 1. Return of the Middlesticks on the blue side and the Bisons on the red side for game 1. I've got a black screen briefly. Sorry about that on the stream. My co-caster has abandoned me for just a quick second. But we'll load in, take a skin check. Everybody's got a skin in this game, so no skin advantage so far.
Yeah, but I do love that LT Gray Braum skin. It's a favorite of mine. It just looks so good in the splash.
That's a favorite of yours?
I don't know. I just really like it. Yeah.
All right.
That's the one where he has the chair, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good one.
All right. I don't know about your taste in skins anymore, but all right.
All right, judge me all you want. I just like the fact that he throws a giant chair at you. It's funny to me. I like the funny skins.
Yeah, Elitas has exhaust is something worth mentioning that we can see in this loading screen that is taking forever for some reason. So that's an interesting choice on the Zaya, and that means that Tendi's Camille is going to have just that much harder of a time trying to assassinate the AD carry.
Yeah, but that does give maybe a little bit of advantage to ROTM because they've got the exhaust and heal. Gives them more sustain in the lane. So we'll have to see if that means anything in the bot lane. It's just definitely, I think, a good summoner spell for late, but should be interesting in the lane phase without that extra padding of the heal to kind of save you from some potential early kills.
Yeah, also kind of, I don't know that it's particularly interesting, but the Guardian on Braum, as opposed to like an Aftershock, or there's some weird summoner keystones that I think Braum can take, but the Guardian for Black Salt is a choice.
Yeah, I think you get a little more use out of it probably than you would with Aftershock, especially with Jhin as your lane partner, not someone that auto attacks super quickly. So getting that stun is not always guaranteed in every trade, but getting the Guardian Shield probably works a little bit better.
Yeah, and it feels like Black Salt and Samso just opting into kind of a sustain approach to everything in the lane, and Winnipeg support and Elitas just going full for kills, right? You got the exhaust, you got the ignite, you might as well just go for it in the lane.
Yeah.
Usually a load screen this long means that somebody disconnected during the load screen, so we might have a pause once we get in. I don't have any official word on that, but just a guess based on what's happening, current events. I don't know how much more we can talk about this loading screen. I do like this. Oh, never mind.
Oh,
okay.
Perfect.
Well, let's see if we have a pause immediately once we load in.
It's feeling that way.
Yeah, even the longer lead-in time. Maybe the Riot server's just having trouble tonight. That wouldn't be the first time. Nor the last.
Very possible. Just unfortunate that it's during playoff games, you know?
There we go. Okay, I finally have a. The screen has brightened, and there it is. All right. There's no
Well, there's no
timer this time.
timer.
Is
Yeah,
that just
that's
for the amateur tournaments? They
no, that
removed the
is
timer?
all timers they've removed for some reason. I don't maybe they got rid of like the time limit. I'm not quite on customs or something, and now they don't have the timer. Not sure.
Yeah. Normally I would hide this behind a BRB screen, but there's uh, the only things that have been purchased are a Doran's ring and a relic shield, which you can probably guess based on the champions that they picked. So I'm not worried about it in this particular moment. Um, but yeah, hopefully Hyun. I Do you think it's Hyun? I hesitate to
Yeah, I
ask.
think that works well.
Okay. Um,
Kyun.
if that's wrong, I'm really sorry, Hyun. I'm sorry, University of Manitoba. But yeah, Hyun. I forgot the point I was trying to make. My God. Oh, he's disconnected right now. That's the update I have. Is he is the one that's disconnected. Hopefully he can get back in. Uh, According to Aikedo in the chat, they started the pause at 7:20, and I believe they get 15 minutes of pause time is the rule. It might be 10.
Yeah, I think it is 10 based on the game we had to play 5v4. So,
Oh yeah, that happened earlier this split.
yep.
That feels like it was forever ago, but
I
I
think
guess that was
it
5
was like
weeks.
the second game, right?
It was
So,
the first game,
oh, it was the first game. That's
right out
right.
of the right out of the gate against a team that we should have been significantly better than. Had to play 4v5 and then bring in a sub and lose the game, game two for bringing in a sub.
That's right. Doesn't that give us a better game score though?
No, how would losing a game give you a better game score?
Oh, I just thought it was important for it to go to 3 games.
It's important
Didn't
if
know
you're
if it
losing
mattered.
to go to game three,
Gotcha. Okay.
because you get the extra game score in that case. But yeah, if you're winning, you just you only care about winning. You get two
Yeah.
regardless. Uh, we had a discussion on our last stream. Um, this is important if you're up on the LS lore. Are both shopkeepers Boris?
Ooh. Well, don't they look different?
Yeah, they look different. They're little, like this guy's hut that we're framed on is like a ship, and the other one is more like it's like a pack animal that he's got everything laden on.
Hmm. Let's see what a Google search can find out. Because now you have me invested.
Yeah. Well, I don't care about the actual lore. I want the LS lore. Are they both Boris in the LS lore?
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay. Because I know that the LCK is the big reason why there's Shelly and Sheila. Like there's two different Rift Heralds. It's canon.
Right. I mean, I feel like just for the memes, it has to be Boris either way because it's just a great name to meme, you know?
Yeah, I feel kind of weird that that got appropriated because like the Aatrox rework, people said wasn't Aatrox anymore, so they called him Boris with two B's, but Boris. And I liked that a lot, but then Boris is now synonymous with the shopkeeper, and I don't know if the Aatrox mains have renamed him. I need Wing Nation for my Aatrox facts.
That was actually something that I got confused by initially because the first time I heard LS use the Boris, there was like an Aatrox in the game, and I was like, "Is this who he's talking about?" But then he just wasn't losing,
Oh,
so it
winged
was
in the
like
chat with the Aatrox facts. Atrix is the new Aatrox? Okay. That's not as fun.
Patrick's.
I There was a video. I don't know if it's a normal meme video that everybody has watched. But he puts just the word Aatrox into different like translates. Like Google Translate says like Atrox, and then like I don't know. It's very funny. He apparently a lot of different programs cannot agree on how to say the word Aatrox.
Yeah, LS always has the fun pronunciations too, and he just doesn't care.
apparently there's dad jokes coming in this chat, and judging by the fact that Xcraze is still typing in the chat, that means the game is probably still paused.
Even on the 3-minute delay. Very sad.
I don't know how the pause timer works in with the 3-minute delay. That's the.
I'm pretty sure it pauses us until like we still have the 3-minute delay regardless. So like they'll unpause and then we have to sit here for 3 minutes and
Yeah,
then the game will unpause for us.
I just don't know how the chat interacts with everything because the chat updates at random times. Just like Xcraze was able to come in and tell us that the dad jokes were coming. So
Right.
at one point I thought that the chat was live, but then we saw the pause, like the actual timer, come after. But now I'm thinking differently. It's weird that I guess the chat just updates every like 30 seconds to a minute or something.
Right.
I laugh my balls off. That's a condition.
I'm curious who won. So the Academy games are tonight, and so TSM Academy was playing the first series. I got to watch the first 2 games before I jumped over here. Let me see, because I think game 3's done or close to done. And TSM Academy was not looking very good in game 1, but had a really stompy game 2. So I am one that really likes watching Academy teams lose to the challenging teams.
Yeah, I mean that's like the big overarching story of these tournaments, right? Although really
Yeah.
the amateur teams are almost more stacked than the academy teams are right now, though.
True. I mean, so the team that's playing against TSM Academy is Viper in top lane and in jungle Five Fire, who was really big.
Not a new, yeah.
Yeah, and then Value in big. So it's people that have seen like time, in LCS, but not quite gotten the like full experience. And I think it's really interesting to have like these academy teams lose at the same time that we're having all this talk about like the import rule and stuff. I think there's a lot of talent that just isn't discovered, and I think having academy tied in with all of these no org teams are really nice. Just to be able to see some new faces and who's up and coming in the league scene.
Yeah, I liked Anu just because Chrono founded them, but it's unfortunate that they poached people. And now they're responsible because they're tier 1. Super weird situations that occur. And Chrono's not involved with them anymore, so I guess I don't have to like them anymore. But
right. Oh, and it looks like, yep, TSM Academy just got eliminated from the tournament.
Oh, unlucky.
So there you go.
TSM lost.
That's like old team with like Hanser and Cody Sun on it too. So interesting.
We're apparently about to find out what Sugma is.
No, Maris.
It's a very interesting question that was asked.
That's the like young dad joke that we were promised.
The dad joke was why did the bicycle fall over? Because it was too tired.
Oh no.
That was the dad joke. I read that one. I didn't make that one up. Don't follow me.
Can't blame your own jokes.
I also really like the like. Did you see that Steve Jobs died of ligma? And then the question you ask is, who's Steve Jobs? That's a solid response.
That is a really good one. Any famous person in that, just don't play into the meme. That's great.
They said to go up to 15 minutes, so we have to unpause at 7:35. That's in 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
So, and then 3 minutes after that. So, a little bit more time. This is apparently now the RTM podcast. I don't think we quite have
with
the
Lane and
platform.
Maris.
With Lane and Maris. We don't quite have the following for that, unfortunately.
Yeah. It is just really unfortunate that, it's looking like the Bisons are going to have to play this out 4v5. You never want to see that, especially from a playoff game. I always like playing against opponents when they're at their full glory,
Yeah.
It always feels a lot better.
See, the easy cop-out podcast name would be the Lane by Lane. But that's
already
taken by something else. The Deep Suck is a
The
pretty good
Deep
one.
Suck, yes.
I don't know that that's enough of a reference to anything else, but we'll take it.
Well, I mean, we already have the icon. It's got to be the straw crow, right?
Yeah, true. The really bad one, the the red one.
Yes, for sure.
I've been waiting. No one wants to banter with me on Twitter, which is unlucky because I have so many crow-related reactions saved. And my favorite one is just gonna be that red logo that you had designed. Oh man,
it's so bad.
I don't want to provide any further context because out of context it's even better. But while we were trying to get new logos designed, we had a couple of different options, and this was definitely one of them.
I'm waiting for the day that gets used because it's a juicy tidbit of RTM lore right there.
So we're still just waiting on the Bison's jungler to reconnect. Hopefully we'll get there soon. His computer kept blue screening and had to move his stuff to the living room.
I can't tell what is memes or not at this point.
I mean, it's like Vaughn playing at McDonald's, right? That wasn't a meme. He actually played at McDonald's. And
Yep.
Yeah.
I once had a series when we had paused, and about 5 minutes in we realized the guy wasn't going to reconnect, and then I had him drive to my house with his computer so that we could play the series out. He got back at the last 5 minutes of the first game, but it was pretty funny to just have this guy pack up his whole computer and come over to my house, so it worked. I think his power went out or something, if I remember correctly.
Oh no, his mom is having karaoke night. That's
be unfortunate if he was streaming during karaoke night, because that could get loud, some background sounds.
Oh, true. Then you might get DMCA'd too.
There's a lot of reasons that would go bad.
It looks like our teams have readied up, so we should be actually getting started with the game. I think we even saw Hyun reconnect, which is also a good sign. Again, we're 1 minute away from the end of the pause time anyway, so if he does DC again, it's pretty much permanent. Alright. Yeah, they're ready to up.
That might mean we have to sit through a little bit more of a pause as we go through the actual delay, but we'll see what happens here.
Normally it's 15 to 30 seconds, and then the pause timer just starts out of nowhere after you see them already up. This is there it goes. Okay, I was prophetic. I just needed to be slightly more patient. So we can finally begin now that we've eaten up 40 minutes of time. You all enjoy those channel points for sure. Yeah. Wow. Okay, let's reset. On the I'll let you introduce the blue side so I can butcher the names.
Perfect. Thank you so much for taking that arrow for me. On the blue side, we've got Return of the Middlesticks. We got Tendies 2 in the top lane on Camille. We've got Aikido in the jungle on Lilia. We've got mid lane Hokage on Galio in the mid lane, and then in the bot lane we've got the Jhin Braum combo for Samso and Black Salt.
And on the red side of the rift, wearing the red health bars, the University of Manitoba Bisons. In the top lane, Tiger Clown on the Jax. Hyun in the jungle on Hecarim. Kept #1 in the mid lane on Swain. And Elitis and Winnipeg support #1 in the bottom lane on the Xayah Thresh combination.
Yeah, and usually we don't have to do those intros because we're just like sitting there in loading screen for 3 minutes waiting for the game to go in, but I think after the pause, definitely worthwhile revisiting what we have here. And we have a good matchup. So excited to see how the ROTM Classic comp goes into the counterpick comp of the Bison here.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, I think that ROTM should have a stronger team fight if we can scale just a little bit later into the game. That's kind of the cost of doing the counter picks in every lane, is sometimes you sacrifice overall synergy in your team comp. Not that it's terrible by any means. Like their team comp is actually like pretty solid. I just the inbuilt synergies that RTM has are pretty strong when it comes to a team fight. As with like Hokage and Kep just exchanging a couple of abilities across the gap. And Tiger Clown, there's nowhere for Tendies to go. He's level 1 still. I think he's only got the tactical sweep, so luckily didn't get punished too hard for that. Sitting again on the teleport ignite, so can't even flash out of a counter-strike, which feels like maybe an oversight in the matchup.
Yeah, I mean, it can help you also offset the matchup difference because you have that extra summoner spell.
There's level 2. Goes in with the jump strike. The counter strike is there for Tiger Clown, and he's doing to Tendies what we normally see Tendies do to other top laners.
Yeah, and that's kind of the nature of the counter matchup. Last time we saw Jax go against this, I don't think the person was quite as comfortable. So, but definitely showing why he wanted this pick into the Camille. Using it really well, using that counter-strike well.
There's a lot of damage coming in from mid lane. Hokage, the Winds of War chunking through. Kept is forced to flash. Ooh, the tower shot might actually cost him. He gets stuck back into tower range. He flashes forward looking for the auto, but it's first blood for Kept in the mid lane.
And that's so unfortunate there. Mid lane Hokage had a really nice trade, but just gets pulled into tower range there and takes 2 tower shots, trying to get the last kill there, flashing in as well. So without that flash, we'll have to see which jungler is able to take advantage of the no flashes in the mid lane.
Ooh, that's a good trade for Tendies, though. He gets the ignite down, the flash forced out of Tiger Clown, and the Swirl Seed comes in looking for a home, but Aikedo can't quite find it. Hyun uses the charge to go in. Tiger Clown able to jump in, doesn't have the counter, or now has the counter strike available. They get the stun up, they get 2 kills in top lane, and ROTM in trouble as Winnipeg support roams to mid. Mid lane Hokage in trouble again, has no flash available, and he will go down at the end of this one. It's a double kill for Hyun, and this could not have been a better start for Winnipeg, for Manitoba.
Yeah, getting used to it, but Teddy's gonna maybe get a trade kill back here. Yep.
Yeah,
he does.
The teleport for the trade kill, but now he's invested both of his summoners. At least get something back on the board for ROTM.
Yeah, avoiding complete disaster there. But really well played there from the Bison. See, they thought they had forced Jax out, and he had enough pots to actually come back into the fight, which was unfortunate for RTM. I think they thought they had a 2v1 on the Hecarim, but Jax ended up having enough HP to make it work. But Tendies is using these buffs well here in these trades back in top lane.
Kept roaming through, gonna find Black Salt the hook, not quite there, but look at the death squad already for the University of Manitoba as they roam through, grab a little bit of vision, even applying a little bit of pressure to mid lane. And there's a lot of things that are going to throw me off this game. Number one is that Winnipeg support exists, and I'm used to like the Winnipeg Jets or the NHL team, and like they have a CFL team, but they're named after the province for some reason. Mid lane Hokage is still looking for this with Winnipeg support in his back pocket. The tug in, looking for a little bit of extra damage, and Hyun is here. Mid lane Hokage off to a rough start. We've seen him come back from these before. He's going to eventually fall. Like, the devastating charge should be able to find him. I don't think he can get out. And he's losing experience at the same time, which is also pretty rough. Tendi's going in for a trade, gets stunned up, and takes an extra tower shot. Is he actually trying to recall back there? Yeah, that's not really going to work. Hextech Ultimatum, though, in the top lane. Tendies finds a solo kill. This is really unfortunate. Hyun eventually able to track down mid lane Hokage. All it did was allow his wave to reset, and it gives Kept basically a free back.
Yeah, and that's 3 kills already on this Hecarim. A lot of those just in mid lane. Things going from bad to worse for mid lane Hokage. Blowing that flash early, and then really good job by the Bison here to punish that mid lane flash going down. We already saw so many roams, one from the jungler and then also one from the support Thresh to come up and punish that really hard. So the Bison doing a good job here of punishing mid lane Hokage in mid.
Yeah, that was the other weird thing I wanted to point out. So it's University of Manitoba, which is the province, but then they're the Bisons, plural, rather than just... I thought the plural of Bison was also Bison. This is going to be a big bird bomb. The Demonic Ascension, ooh, not quite able to find the claw, so I don't think it'll be the kill damage. Oh, he dodges out of the bird bomb with the Justice Punch. I don't know if that was intentional or if he was trying just to turn back and get the Aftershock proc up, but either way, midlane Hokage escapes death, escapes a little bit of extra damage, and he can at least collect that wave underneath his turret. But the difference between the Galio and the Swain is growing pretty quickly.
Yeah, luckily enough for Galio, you don't have to be like super ahead to be useful. You're still going to be able to use your ultimate to help in the side lane. And the big thing is Tendies has 2 kills for himself, but we're going to see another kill
the
on
Onslaught
the
of
mid
Shadows
lane.
used to negate the Justice Punch. That was really nicely done by Hyun, and he picks up his 4th kill of the game. That is a big pony.
Yeah, super big. Now with 4 kills into mid lane here, they've just continued to put pressure here. And it's not even mid lane Hokage's fault entirely, because you're just getting out pressured. Hecarim just visiting your lane already so many times in the early game.
Yeah, now it's starting to snowball into a couple of other places. Tendi's looking for the kill in top lane. He's got a lot of damage down. He finds another solo kill. They call in the Grand Entrance as Aikido trying to chase these members out of his jungle. Hook gonna land onto Black Salt. He's still level 4, and he's taken down by Elitis. That'd be a big sleep, but I just don't think they have the follow-up damage right now to go for it. And so they lose Black Salt, but are able to at least chase the Bisons out of the jungle.
Yeah, and the only thing that's kind of keeping RTM in this game is just the solo kills from Tendies. Already picking up his 2nd solo kill there, or I guess 3rd solo kill already. So if they can get this Camille going and use the supportive tools they have around with the Galio and the Lilia, they'll be able to at least find some fights for themselves, hopefully. But so far, the Bison have gotten the better of RTM in the early game.
Yeah, and Samso keeping the CS even is also a potential point of emphasis for them. Goes for the... I know that he really likes it. And it's apparently good. It just always feels weird to see those Boots of Swiftness as the only thing in the inventory early on. Especially now that Elitis is probably going to go back. He's got, 2,000 gold in his inventory, so he's going to buy the Noon Quiver and probably Boots and a Dagger? Let's see it. Nope, Crit Cloak. Alright. Well.
Interesting. Well, I kind of agree with you. I think it's kind of odd. I mean, it definitely, a lot of Jhin mains do it, so I'm not surprised to see it in the pockets there, but we might see actually Hyun sneak in for a counter gank potentially, or just try to catch some of Tendi's over aggression.
Yeah, Samso and Black Salt grab a turret plate. Black Salt is really behind in experience. I guess not compared to Winnipeg's support, but being level 5 in a game with level 7, that's a huge chunk onto Tiger Clown. He gets the stun with the counter strike. Again, Hyun's sitting in his back pocket, just out of range of that Onslaught of Shadows, though. Mid lane Hokage's just has to fight tooth and nail for every CS that he gets in mid lane. There it is. The hookshot comes in. The Onslaught of Shadows. Tendies doesn't have his ultimate available just yet. It's like 1 second away. He's got his Ignite, but he can't get the cooldown up as Tiger Clown gets the shutdown on the Jax.
Yeah, and with the way Tendies has been pressuring this lane, I think it's really smart for the Hecarim to just go sit in that jungle and just kind of wait for him to dive in, especially after the big chunk onto Tiger Clown. It was just a foregone conclusion that Tendies was going to try to go find the kill there. Unfortunate that he didn't have his ult to dodge any of the damage out. Maybe he could have turned something, but overall, just really good play from Hyun on this Hecarim.
Yeah, this pink ward is going to be the arch enemy of every Jhin main. In comes the teleport, though, from Kept. They're really trying to focus down Tendies. It got interrupted by mid lane Hokage, and Tiger Clown's in trouble. Ooh, he burns the Q2 into the minions, has the Hextech ultimatum. He's going to find the solo kill. Again, Tendies finds another one, but in trouble, uses the hookshot to get away, gets the heal from the tactical sweep. It's enough to get away from Hyun.
Yeah, the big thing there was the slow coming out from the tactical sweep, and Tendy is already on that 420 score line, is looking really, really good, even with the help that Tiger Clone has received, is just not able to put up with as much damage as doing. But
this is
Tendy's might have
really okay.
Yeah.
If he
stayed a little bit too much for that.
Yeah, if he connects with the E, he gets the adaptive defenses shield. He can maybe turn that around, as ridiculous as that is. But that was super well played by Hyun to go for the Q initially, rather than waiting for an auto first, because that's when you get into trouble. Anyway, just the little micro from Hyun so far has been super good this game.
Yeah, and he's just performing super well. This Hecarim is gigantic. 5 kills already. Averaging almost a kill every 2 minutes is just crazy to see.
Yeah, and now Tendies was 4 and I guess he was 4 and 2. He was 3 and 1. Now sitting at a 4 and 3 scoreline feels a little bit worse. And Tiger Clown able to finish up his Blade of the Ruined King. Hyun has his Divine Sunderer, which is a huge power spike. And look at what's in inventory for Aikedo right now. The poor Lilia has been farming out to a 2 CS advantage, but it just doesn't matter. The Seeker's Arm Guard and Fiendish Codex combo in comparison to Divine Sunderer tier 2 boots is no contest at all. Tendies is in a lot of trouble. He walks into Tiger Clown in the bush, trying to get out with the hook shot, runs to his jungler, who luckily for him was doing the Rift Herald at the time. Still 30 seconds on the second dragon spawn, but the Bisons definitely have the inner track on that.
Yeah, and we kind of saw the power of that counter matchup. As long as Jax is the one that's initiating, Tendies has played it really well, but just to see how much Jax can do and how little Camille can do against it while that counter strike is up, even though he's very far behind.
Yeah, and during all of this, Hyun takes that red side jungle, and now he's looking for the gank in bottom lane. That was a really well-timed flash by Samso to get out of the fear range, well, to get the fear back into his own tower rather than back toward the enemies. So, good snap flash from Samso. Unfortunately, that's down now, as mid lane Hokage just going to get pulled in. Should just be mildly bothered by this. He should be able to lock it out.
Especially with that aftershock getting procced, doesn't take a lot of damage from that trade. But now off to a bad start at ROTM, already down 2 dragons as well. This is really good by Hyun. Knows he has the advantage. Is willing to just keep forcing it onto objectives, onto different lanes.
Oh, and he's going for it with the Counter-Strike down. Tendies finds the solo kill, and now he can get an extra turret plate right before the turret plates despawn. Hyun is on the way up. This is maybe a dangerous situation for Tendies, but he's choosing to stick around. He's got his Trinity Force completed, and he's feeling very confident. And Hyun is going to instead take the Rift Herald, which is also just a viable choice for him. He can do basically whatever he wants on the pony right now.
Yeah, and as you can see from the minimap, their bot lane is already rotated up here. So for him to just start that up is really smart. Knows he's just so much stronger than anyone else on the map, and that his bot lane will give him the numbers advantage that he needs to take this objective.
Yeah, has to be a little careful with the burn from the Swirl Seed, but shouldn't bother him too much, as they will take down the Rift Herald, and that'll go into Hyun's pocket, and it looks like immediately to top lane. Although Samso and Black Salt are headed up there, so it's still the 3v3 on this top side. We haven't seen Black Salt or Samso really get involved. I'm curious if they straight drop it for the first tower. He's hidden in the bush. I think they saw him head on the... Oh, I guess they don't. They don't have any words up here. They have to guess, right?
Yeah,
I don't know why I'm putting words in their mouth. Okay, now they can definitely see him. But here comes Shelly. dropping in for the tower. Hyun looking for the dive even because he knows that the tower's about to fall. Jumps directly onto Samso. They're going to call in the Galio ult, trying to turn that one back around. The Lilting Lullaby used. They're just trying to turn all of the damage. They do burn Hyun down, but can they get any more? Kept flashes over the wall, has the Demonic Ascension available. The curtain call opened up. It's just not quite enough as Aikedo zips out of there with his speed boost from his passive. Shelly gets another charge into the towers. Manitoba continues their assault on these objectives in this game. That tower is super low, but now Tiger Clown and Tendies set up down in the bottom lane. Tendies has to be careful. He really wants to walk up and auto that tower, I think. Or he wants Tiger Clown. I don't think that was a great trade, but all right, Tendies.
Yeah, I mean, RTM actually got about the same goal value as that tower, just because they shut down Hyun there. They got 800 gold for that shutdown. It goes onto mid lane Hokage, which will help him stabilize a little bit after that rough early game. And hopefully, I mean, I think it's just Hyun thinking he was a little bit bigger than he was there, ran way ahead of his team trying to solo kill Samso, but after that Galio ult came in, just didn't have enough damage to finish him off before he got CC'd trained.
Yeah, and Aikedo heads directly for the Zanya's Hourglass as his first item. We saw that come into very good use in that last team fight, but they really need to find a way to try to slow down the Hecarim continually. I don't think you can continue to count on him to overextend. Although maybe he's just the Tendies of the University of Manitoba, and he will just continue to overextend the rest of the game. Who knows? Regardless, a minute 30 to go on our first Ocean Dragon. At some point, ROTM has to contest one of the dragons. Do you think that they need to roulette on this one, or should they wait and just go all in on Soul Point, or on the actual Soul?
I think it really depends on if they can maybe try to use like the...
Oh, mid lane Hokage feels this pressure, actually able to Justice Punch out as he sees gets feared in by the Onslaught of Shadows. A lot of damage coming through as Elitis and Winnipeg support are both here. Elitis finds the kill underneath the tower. Tiger Clown is just tanking up the first tower for some reason. They're going to try to exchange with this tower in mid lane and the one in top lane. We'll see how this macro play all works out. Aikedo, Samso, and Black Salt still trying. They don't take this tower particularly quickly. Now all the minions are gone. They finally do destroy the mid lane tower. Kept is in a little bit of trouble, but in comes Hyun as he gets the charge down onto Aikedo. The Lilting Lullaby will slow them up briefly. Black Salt unfortunately reses him with the Winter's Bite, and he'll fall in the process. But Samso and Aikedo look like they've made it out to safety. They get 2 towers back. Are the Bison's going to grab this mid tower? It looks like that is the call for the time being, and they should be able to grab the dragon here in 15 seconds. Tendies is on the flank, although he's been spotted out by some pings. And I think everything going to slow down for just a little bit. Aikedo unfortunately going to lose the rest of his jungle again, as has been continually happening this game.
Yeah, and with Braum not on the map, I think it's really hard for RTM to go contest this. They might feel like they have to, but I think you just wait another one for that soul. Knowing that Braum's off the table here, you give it, you look to fight for the next one. They're only down 3k gold, which is a pretty big lead, but at this point in the game, it could be a lot bigger. So what I would like to see RTM do before the next dragon is to use that Camille Galio combo to try to get a pick maybe 30-40 seconds from the dragon spawn. Then they could have someone off the map and have an advantage to kind of play off of.
Really cool that you're here to support Elitis. Is that the way you pronounce his name, though? Well, we have had this discussion. How is his name pronounced? Can't believe you say it. Okay. But as we look in, 11-6, Elitis. Elidos, maybe? Alidos? That's actually still unclear. Tiger Clown's in trouble. That is actually clear, although the counter-strike coming through, it almost turns that one back around. That was so close. But Tendies is able to find another solo kill in that bottom lane. There's a big fight over this blue buff. I don't think this is the objective that IRTM wants to scrap for. Mid lane Hokage going to fall as they jump in. They get a huge sleep, but it just is going to make sure that Black Salt can disengage from the fight.
Yeah, and RTM just doesn't have any power at all without Tendies being there. he needs to kind of group up with his team and try to help them out. I know he's getting solo kill after solo kill on this Jax, but they just don't have any damage without him there. He is the whole gold difference for RTM.
Alidos. Curtain Call opened up, just trying to do anything he can do to channel in some damage to Baron. Teleport going to come in from Kept. Hecarim's actually really low on the backside of this pit, although they don't know. He's able to finish off the Baron with the smite. Black Salt and Samso forced to flee. The teleport from mid lane Hokage was invested during all of that, and Tendies just goes back to base kind of without a further word. So Baron being warned by all 5 members of the Bisons, and they're in a really good spot in this game now at 5k.
Yeah, I thought RTM might have a chance for a steal there because Hecarim had to actually smite early just to make sure that he would stay alive there, but didn't quite get enough damage on the Galio Q to steal it. But and now it's really rough for RTM. Big gold lead, and it's just really you don't have enough wave clear really to deal with this Baron minions. So I feel like you almost have to look to try to get a counter kill and just kind of give up some towers because you can't defend them very easily.
Yeah, and Hyun just sweeping through the jungle, finding every camp that Aikato's had spawned, basically chasing him out as the towers continue to fall. Now the mid lane tier 1 is gone for the 4th tower of the game. RTM, for their part, has gotten all of the outer towers themselves, but now Tiger Clown is set aside on the bottom side. They're going to look for the fight. They're going to sleep up Kept. Looking for the Swain first is kind of a decision. Aikato able to use the stopwatch to go invulnerable. Tendies is in trouble. They invest the Galio ult, but it just doesn't matter. Aikato is down, and the University of Manitoba continues to swing through. Tiger Clown is completely uncontested on this bottom wave, and the towers just falling left and right. The base in shambles for ROTM. The Curtain Call just to try to zone off the Bisons, and it's doing some damage. That's not an insignificant amount of damage, but Tiger Clown still just wailing away. He grabs the inhibitor tower in the bottom side, and now a minute to go on this Ocean Soul spawn, and if ROTM can't secure that, that's going to be game 1 in the books.
Yeah, and I don't blame RTM to try to go for that play there. You know Jax doesn't have a teleport, and you've got a 4v5 advantage, but just didn't quite find the right engage from the Lily of Sleep. It was a valiant effort, but I think at this point it's really, really hard for RTM to fight even 4v5.
Yeah, so 50 seconds to go, and you can see the members of the University of Manitoba headed streaming toward that Ocean Dragon. Can ROTM find the contest that they need? They're not even going to have all of their tools up. The Jhin ult, the Galio ult will be on cooldown when that spawns. The Jhin ult might be up just in time, but the Galio ult definitely will not be. And that's going to be a big point of emphasis, I think, in this fight, is lacking that big AoE knock-up, that big zone control. Aikato is very fearless right now. Ooh, even dodges the thresh hook. This is kind of interesting that this is happening. Tendies gets spotted on this red buff. He has to fight, and Kept and Hyun are right on top of him. The Onslaught of Shadows comes through. He uses the Hextech Ultimatum just to try to disengage, get a little bit of distance. Hyun gets snared up, but there's just no damage coming through from ROTM. Aikato's caught as well, and the game falling apart for ROTM. Samso and mid lane Hokage, the last 2 alive, but it just doesn't matter. The Ocean Soul will go to the University of Manitoba if they want it. They might just push the base and try to end. Or they'll do both at the same time. The world is their oyster at this point.
Yeah, they've got minions crashing in here, both in top and mid, and it looks like Hecarim's just going to secure it by himself. I like the decision to just kind of split, realize, hey, we don't need to spend 5 people to Dragon when there's minions at the base. So it looks like they're going to get at least 1, if not 2 inhibitors here. Really good calls from Manitoba Bison.
And there's the Ocean Soul at the same time. Oh. Will the inhibitor actually die? It looks like it's going to live. How much health does it have?
Just barely, wow.
That's 95 health and regenning, so probably about 70 when it got left. A little unlucky they didn't finish that one off, but I don't think it'll hamper them too much going forward. Minute 45 on the second Baron. Should just see that one cleaned up, and then the Nexus cleaned up as well. So let's look ahead to game number 2 then. What does ROTM need to do differently, you think, with their draft?
Well, I mean, I don't really mind the Camille first pick. We saw that Tendies was able to use it well, even in a counter matchup,
Oh no,
which means they probably don't have a good answer.
I don't think he even saw the teleport. Oh no.
So sad.
Maybe Tendies can get another solo kill, bring a little bit of glory back to ROTM. Tiger Clown is doing... Oh,
Oof.
never mind. I just shouldn't guess what's going to happen in those spot lane trades, I guess. Tendies does find the solo kill, and Hyun going to neigh in after him. Onslaught of Shadows coming through, dives him on the wall, gets the shield back. That apparently isn't as important as what's happening to Kept, where he gets slept inside his Zanya's hourglass. He's back to full health after getting that big suck from the Demonic Ascension. He'll pull in mid lane Hokage. He's got a 3-level advantage over the enemy mid laner, and just continuing to tank up everything. Tendies is still fighting with Hyun. He can win this. This is really minor compared to what's happening on the rest of the map, but he can win that 1v1. The stopwatch for Hecarim still continuing
Wow,
to buy
they're
time.
TPing
Another
in.
teleport. They're really trying to lock down Tendies. They'll eventually finish him off. It's not another teleport. It's Tiger Clown returning to the scene of the crime. Eventually finishing that one off. Samso walks forward into melee range, trying to find anything that he can. Kept and Elidas. Oh, that hook for
Whoa,
Winnipeg
nice
support,
predict.
though. That was a really nice predict. Mid lane Hokage is down. It's a double kill for Elidas. The dash forward looking for Aikedo. Not quite able to find him with the Feather Storm flash out of tower range. That's going to be it. We'll just see if they clean up a couple of extra kills on the backside of that one. So, you don't mind the Camille pick. What do you change about the rest of this draft then?
Well, I mean, it wasn't even the draft, I think. I think the draft was fine. We didn't really get to see it come to fruition because Galio got so far behind. Just because I think Hyun really did a good job of camping mid after that blown flash early. They punished RTM really, really hard for that blown flash. They had Thresh Roan up there, and they had Hecarim come in twice to just start getting that Swain counter pick, just feed him some gold. So I would say that you probably don't have to change things up, but just know that that Swain could be there. You might want to look at either banning the Hecarim away or taking that for yourselves too. Something in that jungle mid combo really needs to change if they're planning on running that same composition again.
Well, that's going to do it for game number 1. University of Manitoba leads 1-0 now, headed to match point. We'll see if they can close out the series or if our team can strike back. Thanks for joining me for game 1 lane on late notice. We're going to pick up Scattercat for game 2 and hopefully game 3 as well. Fingers crossed. And good luck with whatever you're doing. So.
Yeah, thank you. Hope the rest of the series goes well. Have a good rest of the cast.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take just a short break while we load up game number 2, and we'll see you on the other side of that break.
All right. Sorry,
right.
I totally forgot about the server.
This isn't what I need to send you. I need this long string of random letters and numbers. There's the tournament code for you. Looks like they're taking
Hell
a
yeah.
little bit longer of a break. I'll be right back.
Sounds good.
Alright, I'm back.
All right. Welcome
guess-
back.
Back on the stream. Okay. Sorry, I don't know how to split the music and the chat on the stream, and I needed to talk to my co-caster.
Yeah, catch me up because I wasn't here for the first game. It's all good.
Ooh, is the info that Middlesticks is a good pick? Because that's what I need. Yeah, I just don't have it integrated with OBS. That's so much work to do an audio splitter. So it's just got desktop audio and my mic. So I could split
Yeah.
them separately.
Yeah,
I could use
also-
scanner talk.
Yeah. Also, I've tried using voice meter and setting it up. I still don't know how to set it up properly, and I've tried twice now with like a virtual splitter, and it just doesn't work for me for some reason. Like I follow the steps exactly as it I don't know how to pronounce your name. But yeah, like I've tried setting it up multiple times. It doesn't work for me at all. So
Teams are filing in for game number 2. The Bisons are going to remain. That actually doesn't make any sense. I thought they asked if they could be blue, and then I think the draft is wrong.
well, Ikato said in chat that they'll take blue side.
They get to pick. Oh, do they get to pick as losers?
Maybe
don't
that's how
alternate?
playoffs work.
I don't know. I haven't read the rulebook. Hopefully they have.
Yeah. I mean, that's how LCS rules work in the playoffs. Is that they alternate picks for like what side they want each game. So maybe
Yeah.
that's how it works here. Maybe loser picks. It's probably some system
Yeah.
like that.
So higher side got game 1 selection, which makes sense to me, and then loser pick also makes sense, but so does switching. So it's just a mystery to me. It looks like we're getting in. So our team going to select blue side for game 2. It looks like is the final answer because both teams are agreeing to it.
So did they pick blue side because they have something really big that they want to pick for their first pick? Maybe.
So they picked Camille in game 1, and that worked pretty well. And the rest of the map didn't. So I'm curious what else they're gonna go for. I just got there was a notification on the stream, but I didn't see what it was. And now I need to figure out where I can find that. Apparently, I just don't have the notifications on the VRB screen, which is weird to me.
A little weird.
My bad.
It looks like they're readying up for pro draft though.
Oh, we got a host. Well, that would be why I didn't know what that chime meant. All right.
Oh.
Thanks, Psycho, for hosting us. Appreciate that. Okay,
very
they've
cool
readied
of you.
up for the draft. Let's see what we've got. Nothing yet.
Yeah.
Both sides said they're ready, but
but we're not going yet. Oh, there they go.
All right.
Clock is running.
Here we go. Game number 2 between return. I've got to stop doing that. Immediately, I click the transition button and then go for a stretch, and that's just a super awkward transition for the webcam. Sorry about that. So we're in to draft for game number 2. Return to the Middlesticks versus the Manitoba Bisons. Bisons on match point, looking to close out the series, and this is very similar bans. In fact, identical bans to what happened in the first game. We'll see where the big change lies. I think our team would be fine going into the same first pick even, if we can get that far. I really don't want to see a full salty run back, as entertaining as that would be, but those are identical bans to game.
The Seraphim ban is interesting.
That one also is, yeah. So,
all right,
run
Camille.
back. All right, here we go. If
Fair enough.
Following serve, this is going to be Hecarim and
All right.
Jax.
Man, you're like a prophet or something, dude. I mean, man, it's like you can see the future. It's like you know exactly what they want.
I see both the past and the future simultaneously, and where they converge. Oh man.
You're like Doctor Strange with the Time Stone. You're just seeing all possible outcomes here.
In how many did we win? Hopefully a couple.
Hopefully more than just one.
I like this a little bit better than the Jhin that we saw in game number 1, so that'll feel pretty good. Samso getting a hold of the Tristana, and I didn't mind the Galio. I think the mid lane Hokage need to play a little bit more respectfully early on, but we'll see where our team wants to go with their third pick.
Yeah, and Tristana can also be flexed mid if they want. Like, Tristana can be flexed mid or bot, depending on what they want to do. So it's a nice pick in that regard as well.
Yeah, and the Kindred locked in for Aikido, so if he's going out blazing. Like, picking one of his favorite champions, I appreciate that. Already the Hecarim pretty okay into Kindred. If Kindred isn't careful where they position, you can knock them out of the Lamb's Respite, and that can be pretty annoying, but also very annoying is if you all group up in the middle of it, you just get ulted and blown separate directions.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, Thresh was pretty good in game number 1 for Winnipeg support, and they locked that one in.
Yeah, I don't have any complaints with the 2 drafts so far, other than if Middlesticks is going to put Tristana in mid lane, then that means that the top side of the map is all AD damage, which means that Jax is going to have a much easier time itemizing if he wants to build some kind of defensive options into his build.
Yeah, by that virtue, I think that this has to be Samso's Tristana. But now, the Swain ban, that was what we saw in mid lane for Kept in game number 1. So we will see at least one different champion from the Manitoba Bison. That's not off the table as well. And last ban. Get to think about it, mid or AD.
It's a big decision.
Yeah, I don't know what AD they would be particularly worried about, so this feels like it's just going to be fishing for another mid ban, and it'll be the Rise.
Okay. Yeah, Rise is a good ban, honestly. It doesn't really matter what his win rate is in solo queue, because if you've got a player on your team that can play Rise well, that win rate does not matter at all. And personally, I think Rise is actually stronger right now than he was all last year because of the item changes.
Yeah, he's been seeing a pretty decent resurgence in pro play, which is kind of interesting to see. I don't like the champion. I just feel like he bops around and doesn't do a huge amount of damage, and then all of a sudden just kills you, which is very bizarre. But Ezreal going to be the lock-in for Elidas, which it's kind of an interesting pairing with the Thresh, honestly.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Ezreal has his own escape built into his kit with that, I forget what it's called, but his E ability.
Yeah.
Syndra being locked in here, maybe. Syndra might be a really good pick for these guys here.
Yeah, Syndra helps fix the damage profile issue that they've been having, and is a pretty good champion for mid lane Hokage. You do have to be careful, as Hecarim, when he's already in the Devastating Charge animation, isn't cancelable, and neither is Onslaught of Shadows, so still might be in a little bit of threat in that mid lane. And
Ooh, I actually, Senna would have been interesting, but I like Set as well. I think they're both good options for supports right now. And
I'm
as
getting
the
mixed
game
signals.
currently sits.
One says Alidos, and the other one says Alidos. Okay.
Ally Dose?
Alidos. Alley-oop. Okay. No, that's not one of the Bisons. Helping me out. I'm ignoring that one.
Fair enough. Ooh, a
Robbie.
Nivea. Ooh, okay.
All right, a Nivea counter into Syndra is a pretty solid matchup for Kept again. They've used their counter pick for mid lane both games, and I think that they've got good value out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a Nivea is actually really good in the meta right now if you haven't played against it in any of your solo queue games. She's actually in a real strong place right now. I still think the Ezreal's a weird, interesting pick because you have Thresh there, so you could have picked something that's better in the meta right now, like a Jinx or something. She's better right now than she has been. Or you could do Kaisa, Misfortune. I mean, you could do a lot of immobile champions.
Yeah, and since you
pairing
already
up
have
with
the
Thresh.
Thresh, you can do a Phelios as kind of the natural pick in there. But
Yeah.
not that I think Ezreal is terrible. He's got that. This is not the right screen. Sorry. He's got that really oppressive build that he can do now with the Duskblade and Ravenous Hydra. Just get those AoE Qs on like a 1 second cooldown if he can get online, which in game 1 we saw him pretty much get to farm up to his 1.5 items that he wanted. So yeah, it's a scary proposition. Yeah, again, this feels like a very Tendy-centric draft. If Tendies can get ahead and the rest of the map isn't completely on fire, I'll add that caveat since we saw that last game. I think that our team will be in a good spot, but their draft seems kind of snowball reliant almost. They have a lot of range, they don't have a whole lot of team fighting, whereas the Bisons have team fighting in spades with their picks.
Yes. The one major upside for Middlesticks right now that I can see is that they've got a lot of scaling potential going to late game. Kindred, if she can get a lot of early marks, can be super strong heading into even the 15-minute mark, depending on how quickly she can get those stacks up. And Tristana scales harder than Ezreal does as well. So they have a decent chance here just in scaling into late game damage profiles to actually take it to Bison if they don't falter, if they don't fall prey to some of the team fight damage that Bison has early and mid game.
Yeah, opened up the prediction on the stream, by the way. Just predict the winner game 2. That's as simple as it goes. This is some gamesmanship on the bans just a little bit.
Make the draft go faster. Just all the A's, take them out.
So it would, except that they just didn't ban for the second phase. They actually sat there for longer, but, whatever.
Yeah, they forgot. Weren't paying attention. Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see how this early game plays out, just because I want to pay a lot of attention to Kindred. Because if Ikeda is good with Kindred, I think 4 stacks is where it goes to being where she starts becoming really super strong. Is that 4, right? Yeah, 4 stacks. So 4 stacks is the number that we want to watch out for here as we get into the game. And meanwhile, Set as the support down there. I hope that he doesn't take too much poke or take too many hooks by the Thresh. He does have his W to give him some shields, but still, if they poke Set down early, it's going to be hard for Set and Tristana to really get something going for themselves without a gank.
Yeah, it's also going to be a lot of eyes on Black Salt. We saw him have just spectacular engages last week on the Rel. This time needs to have them on the Set because he's basically all of the teamfight control for ROTM. Sure, you have the AoE stun from Syndra. You technically have a stun from Camille, and you can separate people. But in terms of meaningful teamfight control abilities, it's all on that Facebreaker from Set. If he can get a good ult in, he can get a good Facebreaker. It's winnable, right? In a 5v5 team fight. But it feels like it's so reliant on Black Salt getting that engagement.
Yeah, I almost wonder if they would have been better off picking something like an Alistar than the Set. Having better engage tools than Set does from greater distances, being able to actually stun people. I wonder if that might have been a better choice, but I guess we'll find out. I otherwise kind of like what Middlesticks is doing with their comp. I like what Bisons are doing with their comp as well. But I think the Ezreal and the Set are kind of the weird unknowns for these two comps, where it feels like they could have picked something better for both of those two positions.
Yeah.
Otherwise, though, I like what I'm seeing.
Yeah, for ROTM though, backs against the wall, season on the line. You get to pick. You might as well pick a comfort champ to go out on. And Black Ops played a lot of Set. This is pretty much as comfortable as you're going to get. I think Samso, you swap Tristana for Jhin, potentially. And then you have literally the most played champions of most of these players. So if you're going to go out, you're going to go out swinging. And I like that they're going to at least throw that punch here for game number 2. And we'll see how the Bisons receive it. They have that same strong top side of the map. We saw Tiger Clown eventually get rolling in game number 1. Hyun was just a monster on the Hecarim. Again, a counter pick for Kept. Like, they got... It feels like both sides got exactly what they wanted with this draft, and we're going to see power versus power coming out here in a minute. But yeah, let's... I always love in these polls, we get these people coming in. Shout out to all of the Bisons fans in the chat. Thanks for coming in and supporting your boys. I just love, like, none of them have any channel points, so you get the 7,000 on the side of Rodham compared to 500. It's Win? Oh. Why has no one corrected me on Win?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm upset about that now.
Well, now we know, and knowing is half the battle.
Yeah. Win makes sense to me as well. Yeah, Vietnamese names are notoriously rough for me. Sorry, Vbon, I love you.
That's all right, man. I like that Thresh's name. At least just lets me call him support. I can just call him support if I want to. That's nice and easy.
Plus, Winnipeg support, and they're the University of Manitoba. Like, you can identify both the city and province that they're from based on the names. Oh.
Yeah, I'm not even from Canada, and I'm gonna be able to do that now.
All right. Well,
so let's see if any of the rune choices here are a little weird. Let's see if anybody's got a weird summoner spell. So far, I'm not seeing anything too out of the ordinary for these teams. Syndra did take cleanse, which I can't blame her because there's a lot to cleanse on the other team. So that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, Elidas has his exhaust again, which we saw in game number 1. I didn't notice any situation where that was super noticeable. That I hate doubling down on the same word again, but
that's fair.
It seems like it's a comfort for Elidas, which is interesting. I think it's valid, especially given the Camille that has been so powerful for Tendies overall and the type of champions that he likes to play. But
oh, we're getting in.
Yeah, here we go. Game number 2 as we load onto the Rift. Okay, everyone, listen up. Return of the Middlesticks is going to hop off their post, walk out of the cornfield, and caw on your asses. Y'all ever experience a deep suck while you're about to get the slurp of a lifetime from the ROTM squad? I know what I'm talking about, too, since my name is Liposuction Lane. Then after we have drained all of your life juice, our Crowstorm will come down and eat your lifeless carcasses. Caw, caw, caw! Hashtag ROTM fighting. Thank you for the copy pasta redemption, B-Pots. Much appreciated. But here we go. Game number 2 on the blue side. Return of the Middlesticks wearing the blue health bars, and the University of Manitoba Bisons on the red side wearing the red health bars. Just going to be the 5 points to start out with. So no shenanigans level 1. No need to throw the playoff game immediately.
Fair enough on that. It's especially if you're already down one game here, as Middlesticks are. You don't want to risk something bad right off the game number 2. Can't blame them for that. So yeah, just a normal 5-point spread here. Looks like Hecarim's moving down to start blue side. Meanwhile, Kindred probably starts. Yep, there she goes. She's moving down to red buff right now.
All right, let's chill out in the chat on the ASCII copy pasta, please. One or two is funny. We'll stop now. Thank you.
Yeah. I wonder if Black Salt took Hex Flash.
I would imagine so. Although I don't think I've ever seen Black Salt take Hex Flash. Now that you mention that, oh no. I guess we'll find out if he breaks his flash at level 1 going in for the engage.
That's true. That's true. I play with a support that loves taking Hex Flash on basically every single champion because he loves playing hyper aggressive. So I'm used to seeing that.
This looks very familiar from game number 1, Tiger Clown going in with the counter strike at level 1. I wonder how this will continue to repeat as these guys have gotten pretty familiar with each other's trading patterns. We'll see who can mix that up just a little bit better. Again, I think the eyes have to be on bottom lane. This set pick has to pop off for Black Salt. You can see he's looking for it. He really wants that flash face break.
He really wants it. And early is when you need to get a kill. Early is when you need to put that pressure on them because Ezreal's early game damage is notoriously pretty bad.
Yeah, I do like some of the adaptations. I think it's funny the way mid lane Hokage is playing so far passive after getting repeat ganked by Hwyn early on in game number 1. Playing super passive, but then you have the auto-shoving Tristana in the bottom lane to kind of counter that and open it up. But they do know that he started on the bottom side of the rift, or at least should have an inkling based on the lane timings from everyone. So should feel relatively safe and can even go out and grab a ward right now. It's a 5 camp clear for Hecarim, and it looks like into that top crab. Whereas Aiketo also going for the 5 camp clear, and he guessed right. The roulette wheel spins for Kindred, and he gets the correct scuttle crab for his first mark of the game.
Beautiful, beautiful. He should go to Vegas with that kind of luck.
Go to Vegas with a 50-50? I guess you could throw it all on red or black and win 100.
I mean, when the house always wins, 50-50 is pretty good odds.
Yeah. 50% of the time, it works every time for Aiketo. And he'll walk down to the bottom side. Not going to be able to find anything immediately. Tendy's dodging out of the counter-strike, goes back in, and that might cost him his Hyun's in. That's a big face breaker, though, from Black Salt as he gets on, trying to pull in Winnipeg's support. Gets caught underneath the tower, the big haymaker for the shield, but the tower shot is going to be first blood for Winnipeg's support. So over-aggression from Black Salt. Doesn't have Hex Flash, by the way.
All right, we found that out.
not the exact time I wanted to find it out, but
yeah, it was a good attempt to, they had an opening there, they decided to take it, but just too many tower shots, Black Salt, and even when he used his W there for the shield to protect him.
Aiketo looking to turn this one back around the hop over, trying not to get flayed in. The explosive shot doesn't connect, but Aiketo is still here, able to clean up one. Elidas is in trouble as well, and Aiketo gets the double kill at the end of that. That's probably a net positive. Oh, Tendy's is still looking for it. Dashes back in. Does he have an ability? He doesn't. Tiger Clown able to take him down with the jump strike.
Oh, that could have been a good 1-for-1 there. Tendy's was so close. But very good work with Aiketo there, getting a double kill down in the bot lane. And Aiketo, if we look at the passive stacks here on Kindred, how many stacks does he have?
Still one.
He only has one. He only has one because he didn't mark either the Thresh or the Ezreal before he helped out with that fight.
Yeah, he still had Hecarim marked, if I'm not mistaken. Hwyn going to go ahead and take away the Grump on the other side of the map. Tendy's is in a rough spot. More so than the death. We saw him get forced out early off of that gank that we didn't really get to follow up on. Oh, Aiketo pops over the wall.
Ooh.
Sees the Hecarim here. Might be able to track him down, although doesn't have the mounting dread for the slow, and Winnipeg support is hanging around, so don't really want to overengage. Tendy's, though, used his teleport off of that first, not death, but he got forced back to base, and then dies. So he's in a really rough spot without any summoner spells. Gets stunned on the wall, still looking for this trade. Gets a big chunk onto Tiger Clown, but in comes Winnipeg's support just to be really annoying on this Thresh. Now he's running to the wrong side of the rift. He's going to have Hecarim's shot up in just a second. Hecarim's coming up as well, and Tendy's might be down for a second time this game. In comes the hook, and Tiger Clown picks it up.
I mean, I can't blame them for picking on Tendy's on a champion that doesn't have Flash. We saw Cloud9 really take it to teams in the LCS who decided to play Camille with no Flash, and that's exactly what the Bisons are doing here. I I get Tendies is good. He understands his champions that he plays, but at this point in the game, he's got to start playing a little bit more careful. He can't give up any more kills.
Yeah, falling rapidly behind Tiger Clown on the Jax in the counter pick lane. Mid lane Hokage getting a pretty good trade. Uses the Unleashed power back in. The auto is going to take him into the egg, but in comes Hwyn. He doesn't have the knockback, trying to get back to his jungler to try to help out. A little bit of damage being exchanged, and now in comes Aikedo and Samso. The slow, not quite there from the rocket jump. Good stun onto Kept is going to be able to disengage, but the Lantern from Winnipeg support is he's just always in the right place on this Thresh.
Yeah, his map movements have been absolutely perfect. He's timing them exactly right. He's in the right place at the right time, but he is falling behind in XP because of that. But then again, he's still ahead of the set. So
yeah, Kept is in trouble. I didn't. Oh, he teleported into the wave and got cut off. I'm not really sure. Aikedo is very big. This is. I don't want to say like a reversal of what we usually see, where Tendies is super ahead and the rest of the team's lagging behind, but Aikedo is 3-0 on this Kindred, and now Samso going aggressive. The exhaust from Elidas just to help disengage. He's got the second rocket jump if he needs to get out, but no reason to burn it just yet. But I really like how Samso and Black Salt have been playing so far in this bottom lane. I like the way Aikedo's been up. If Tendies can stabilize in the top lane, I think our team's off to a decent start this time. At least they're not 1 or 2k behind. Winnipeg support going to pull in Hyun though, and Black Salt is in a lot of trouble. Has the shield, but it's just not going to matter. Oh, the flash looking for the Lancer Spike. It's just not quite there for Aikedo.
that was so close to being timed well by Aikedo. It's heartbreaking to see it go like that. Yeah, they're picking on Black Salt here. 2 deaths just like Tendies up in top lane. But, you know, they're only ahead by 1,000 gold. So Bisons are still not, you know, it's still not a great lead. 1,000 gold is fine, but it's not actually all that much in the grand scheme of things. So Tendies along with the rest of the team could easily turn it around. But Jax is off to a pretty good start.
Oh, they're going to pull Tiger Clown back in. He gets ignited, stuck in the Hextech ultimatum. Do Black Salt and Tendies actually have enough damage to finish him off? That was a really good... That was a huge amount of range that he got off of that jump strike. Black Salt is still looking to tank this up as Tendies goes in. He needs to use the W. He actually just doesn't use it, and Tiger Clown gets the shutdown. He'll get the stun underneath the tower. I don't know about that dive, but Tiger Clown finds 2 kills in the 1v2.
Is that tilt, or is that just, you know, underestimating the situation?
I don't know. Black Salt should have... He didn't have his W because he just used it. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm not sure. If he thought he had his W or he thought that tower shot wasn't going to do that amount of damage. I really don't know what's going on, but he's level 4, and Winnipeg support's going to hit level 6 here before too long. Aikedo is trying to do this Rift Herald. He's very strong individually, but I don't think that he can stand up to a Hecarim and a Nivea collapsing on him, so he's got to get out of there.
Yeah, probably not. He probably can't. But right now, Aikedo is the saving grace.
Winnipeg support. That's a really good dodge, though, from mid lane Hokage, able to cancel the... Nothing from Nivea. Never mind. I thought that he had the ult dropped at the same time. He'll get the chunk back, at least in trade. It was a good flash by mid lane Hokage.
That was absolutely incredible. Good job, Hokage. I still can't believe that he did that. It's kind of insane. But yeah, so you know, Aikedo has really got to be the one on the team to bring this back for Middlesticks at this point. It's kind of all on his shoulders.
Another nice stun. That was good. Not quite able to find enough damage to take down mid lane Hokage, and he should be able. Why is he sticking? Oh, he's got Tendies in his back pocket. Okay. Anyway, gank in bottom lane from Aikedo as he jumps forward into the turret. Hook going to land on the Black Salt. That's just a huge chunk of damage. The completed Essence Reaver for Elidas is really helping out. They will get a couple of turret plates back in the bottom lane, but in comes Hyun.
Ooh.
Good stun. He had just enough mana for the stun and has to get out of there back toward a little bit of help.
Yeah, really interesting dive there under the tower.
He was trying to teleport back to top lane and actually gets stunned out of it by Kept. And that's going to mean that Tiger Clown can get another turret plate or 2. And look at the CS difference that Tiger Clown has built up now. Again, it's really remarkable to see this happen to Tendies, because normally he's the one with this sort of CS lead, even as we saw in game number 1. But yeah, Ocean Dragon spawning here in 20 seconds. Our team does have a potential dragon timer in their back pocket, and it'll be either a Mountain or Infernal Soul. I'm obviously a biased caster. I hate negating on that because it is kind of taking away from just how well the Bisons have played, especially Winnipeg support and Tiger Clown showing up this game. Hyun is still everywhere on this Hecarim, but pings onto the dragon, and it looks like the Bisons are going to be the first ones there. We could just see the straight 4v4. Tiger Clown can join, and Tendies can't, and mid lane Hokage is definitely trapped, trying to get the kill onto the support, but he gets the Aftershock proc with the Flay, and he'll be taken down by Elidas.
Yeah, that's rough. Tristana's trying to get tower, and she does get tower. So there we go. That's some nice gold in their pockets, but they're still down by 2,000.
Yeah, Dragon going to go the way of the University of Manitoba, and 8-3 in kills, a 2,000 gold lead, as you mentioned. I really like it. Kept has the Verdant Barrier on the Anivia as well. Just make sure that mid lane Hokage won't ever get to that one-shot point. Basically, just make that lane safe. Now has a 20 CS advantage. They're playing this out super well, and it has to come through bottom lane, and it has to come through jungle for Return to the Middlesticks.
Yeah, absolutely. And it makes the game a little bit more challenging for them. They got a lot more obstacles to overcome here. Jax being the major obstacle that they're going to have to overcome. He is doing so well up there. 4-0 and 400 gold for the bounty on his head. He's already got his boots finished. He's getting close to his mythic item being finished. It's looking really good for him. Ezreal's off to a good start as well. Don't want to minimize all the good work they've done in bot lane.
Oh, Tendies is 3 levels down. I almost don't know that they can take this in the 1v2, but Tiger Clown going to give them some respect and back off. I do think it's kind of interesting. He's kind of skipped the completion of the Blade of the Ruin King and headed for the Sheen, right? That's not all one item.
No, but I think the reason why he stopped going for Blade of the Rune King is because he's pivoting towards getting that mythic item.
Yeah. Well, Winnipeg support also here in top lane. Gonna have a little bit of supportal combat, but looks like neither one of them really wants that. Samso is now on the top side of the rift, and Aikido pathing up there.
It's a 3v2 right now.
Yeah, number one, mid lane Hokage has to be careful down here, isolated in, the 1v3 on this half of the map, but it does set up for this second Rift Herald. So Sheila going to be the target, it looks like, for RTM. Although the blue trinket spotting them out is actually going to make them a little bit wary of starting up.
Yeah,
but
I like going for
this.
He
goes in looking for Winnipeg support. They get the full back in with the face breaker. The Haymaker from Black Salt not doing any damage. The tower is his arch enemy this game, but in comes Aikido. They're trying to trade this one back. It's 2 for 2, but in comes Tiger Clown off of his teleport. Lamb's Respite is used as Samso just dies to the turret in the background. That's a good flash from Aikido, but he can't get out of dodge. It's a shutdown for Tiger Clown, and he's 5-0 on the Jax. A really well-timed teleport by him.
Yeah, this Jax is going to be almost impossible to stop at this point, how far ahead he is. He got shutdown gold on the Kindred as well, so that's another nice bit of money in his pocket there. And as well as I thought that Middlesticks was playing that dive under the tower there, Tristana dying on the tail end of it doesn't help things very much, and Kindred wasn't able to escape, so overall was a bad play, but started off really nice.
Yeah, Black Salt getting caught here, forced to use the ultimate onto Winnipeg. Support just dodges out of the hook, so he'll at least be able to get out of there. But the Bisons continuing their assault, stealing away the Scuttle Crab, so no more marks for Aikido. I think he's still stuck on 1, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, he's got 2. All right.
No, yeah, he's got a couple.
He found another one, but still a ways away from that 4 that he'll need. And Twin heads back to the shop, buys the Divine Sunderer, and once again, he is the biggest pony.
Yeah, you hope that by this point in the game you have more stacks if you're Kindred, especially because you should be marking your targets on the opposing team before you go into fights, but things have been a little bit frantic and Kindred hasn't actually had the time to really do that effectively, and that's the main reason why she's behind in her stacks right now. Yeah. So one thing that we should really point out, gold difference in top lane is 3,000 gold, which is mainly the gold difference that we're seeing here for the other team. In fact, that basically makes up the entire gold difference between the Bisons and Middlesticks. So it's basically all on Jax. If you kill Jax at the beginning of a fight, the fight's kind of even at that point. Kind of.
Kind of. The fact that, the other... Yeah, anyway, I was getting too in my head about the gold. 30 seconds to go on this dragon spawn. Our team is looking for the engage. Tendy's just flies in. He's only level 9. Still 3 levels down on Tiger Clown, and now he's caught in the back of the pick, forced to use the Hextech ultimatum. Has nowhere to go over that wall. A lot of damage being exchanged onto Tiger Clown across the gap, but it just doesn't matter. Black Salt forced to use the Haymaker, gets caught by the crystallized wall. They're still trying to play this distance, but as that wall comes back up, Kept can continue to separate members of ROTM and pick them off. He doesn't have an assist to his name, but these walls have been pretty instrumental in a lot of these fights. Now, peeks in just a little bit looking for it. Samso jumps forward, the wall again separating him. He's forced to flash back in. He heads back toward his team, and he'll live with just a sliver of health. Again, had the Anivia passive, so it wasn't permanent anyway. Teleport coming in from Tendy's as they're still going to try something.
No?
They have a plan. I don't know what it is, but they've got one. Looks like the mid-tower maybe, but they need to be careful not to get collapsed. This looks like tilt now.
It kind of does.
It's my official analysis.
It kind of does look like tilt. It feels like Tendy's teleported in before the call was made to teleport in, and as soon as it started, the rest of the team was like, no, what are you doing? No, we're not fighting. And then he was forced to just run away back up to top lane at that point. Yeah, it kind of feels like Middlesticks is at a point now where they're kind of trying to force things a little bit too much, that teleport being the main indicator of that, but we've seen some ill-advised tower dives earlier in the game as well.
Yeah. For the Bisons, though, business as usual, continuing to back.
I'm going to interrupt you because every time you call them the Bisons, I feel like Bison from Street Fighter just has a family and you're talking about them.
Yeah, so I had some of these discussions in game number 1. Number 1, I love Aikedo made the pro draft and called them M Bison because they're the Manitoba Bison. I appreciated that. Number 2, I don't know why they're the Bisons because I thought that the plural of Bison was also Bison.
It might be.
And
actually, both might be.
But it says Bisons below their logo with an S.
Both might be grammatically correct though, so you might be able to do either one.
It's not a moose situation.
Yeah.
Or that's not even an applicable. I don't know where I'm going with that. Mid lane Hokage trying to find something. They've dropped Sheila in mid lane. They grabbed the mid lane tower. I was going to say business as usual for the Manitoba Bisons. They've caught the throws from ROTM, and they've benefited greatly from that. Not that they haven't made proactive plays on their own, but they've also taken advantage of the over-aggression, and that's what's given them such a gigantic lead so far in this game.
Yeah, it's very nice to see from a team being able to actually capitalize on your opponent's mistakes.
Ooh, the flash from Black Salt. They keep trying to pick the Thresh. That maybe not the target that they ultimately want. He's very tanky, but Aikedo eventually finishes him off. Has his 5th kill of the game. They get a little prio mid. I mean, that's what you have to do to get back in the game. You got to find the picks. Yeah, you have to find the picks. That's your only way back in. And Aikedo was still only at 2 stacks, though, even after that. 5 kills, only 2 stacks on the champion, including all the jungle camps that Kindred has been able to get. So, yeah, Kindred needs to get more stacks. At this point, come on, Kindred. You gotta get 1 more stack at least. You're at 20 minutes and you only have 2 stacks, which is really rough for you. Yeah, I believe he's had Hecarim marked the entire game, and they've only been like directly in combat once, maybe twice.
It's a little. I don't know. I'm not a jungler, and I definitely don't play Kindred when I do jungle. So I'm not saying I could be doing any better than this, but when you are the team's hope to get back into this game to turn things around on this Kindred, you got to have more than 2 stacks at 20 minutes into the game.
Samso with the rocket jump away. He's got the Buster shot still, but he actually just knocks Tiger Clan back toward his turret. But that might be what he wanted, is Aikedo able to collapse, uses the mounting dread for the little bit of slow. That's so much damage, though, from Tiger Clan, and in comes Hwyn. Gets the knockback. He's trying to get the heal, get the damage down, but it just doesn't matter as Hwyn takes him down for his first kill of the game. Hwyn and Winnipeg's support have just been in the right position the entire series. Really impressive by them, the way that they move around the map.
Yeah, it's very similar to what you see in the LCS whenever support and jungler roam together. This is the kind of stuff that even pro teams struggle doing. So it's really nice to see out of a team here in this league being able to pull off coordination on that level.
Yeah, Black Salt.
Maybe attempting? Okay, nope.
I guess the rest of the team is kind of there. Oh, no, they're not.
Yeah, they're kind of there.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Mid lane Hokage looking for the steal, just not quite in time for that. At least I can see what he was attempting there as Tiger Clown. I don't know how Tiger Clown got that. Oh, never mind. He was the one that jumped over. I'm just losing my mind now as the players lose their mind at the same time. It's a 9,000 gold lead and a Baron buff on the shoulders of the Manitoba Bisons, and they look set for a matchup against the Ohio State. God, I fucked that up twice now. The Ohio State University for the next round. This is a good pick, though. They found Kep. Maybe can continue forward. They didn't get the reset for the hop, unfortunately, for Samso, so I don't think that they can continue. And Tendies is going to fall to Elitis, the red buff proc. He's going for that really annoying build. He's got the Duskblade finished up after his Essence Reaver and the Tiamat next, so he's going to be doing AoE Qs on a 1-second cooldown, which is super balanced. If you can get there, it's kind of tough to get there, but he's done it successfully this game.
Yeah, it's at this point, Middlesticks has to hope and pray that the Bisons make a bunch of mistakes, because it's hard enough to make picks as it is when you're down this much gold. It's going to be even harder now on any one individual champion, even Thresh, because Thresh for some reason has just been able to survive a lot of the times they've tried to poke him out or catch him out, right? So unless Bison makes a bunch of mistakes here, Middlesticks kind of has already lost the game. Unfortunately, as much as it pains me to say it, they're just behind by 9,000 gold at the 23-minute mark, and that's almost impossible to overcome.
Yeah, Baron buff still being worn by a couple of members of the Manitoba Bisons, and they'll continue pushing in mid and bottom wave at the same time. Tendies is answering with a little push on top of his own, but that's, I mean, if you can equalize the gold total, that is kind of worth, but again, almost feels like a tilt split push.
Yeah.
I don't have a professional analysis for this situation. This is a little rough.
Yeah, I mean, they need Kindred for fights if they're going to even try to fight or defend towers. So, unless Kindred's able to get 2 towers here before the Bisons can get the inhibitor tower, then it's not worth it really at all.
Ooh, that's a good hook onto Black Salt, and Elitis is going to benefit from that as he gets the killing spree. They'll continue rolling through the inhibitor, and there is just nothing that ROTM can do to stop them. They pretty much have their pick of what they want to do on the map. For now, it's going to be the retreat. 3 minutes to go on any major objective, so we can reset and do whatever we want for a little bit.
And Camille doesn't even get the tower top. Tendies doesn't even get it. So the split push was basically for nothing. Unless of course you count all the CS that she was able to get, but she still is almost 100 CS behind Jax anyway. So split push isn't even really all that worth it at this point for Camille.
Yeah, and there's 2 Sterix gauges that have just entered the inventory for the Bisons. Tiger Clown with his is his 3rd item, and the 2nd item for Hwyn. It doesn't get any easier, unfortunately.
No.
I guess once they max out build, at least they couldn't get any stronger at that point, but we're still even a ways off of that. Oh no, mid lane Hokage. Okay, he's got it.
Okay, there we go.
Yoinks.
There we go.
All right.
Yeah, you're lacking in wave clear if you're Middlesticks. You're lacking in split push pressure, just because if Camille decides to split push, Jax can easily match her, and then the 4v4 is still better for the Bisons at this point. And they can even just ignore Camille because it's a 5v4 that they know they'll win because they're 10,000 gold ahead.
Yeah, for now, it's just kind of trying to find a really obvious weakness in the defenses. They're going for it. Tendies is teleporting to the mid wave on the flank. Black Salt just zooming in, but the Crystallize is so good to separate the team. Aikedo gets hooked in, has to use the Lamb's Respite. They're trying to pull Hwyn out of it, but the heal is going to trigger anyway. It's a shutdown going to Samso. Tendies gets flayed back in, but Tiger Clown is into the backline. He's found 1 kill already onto Aikedo. It's the disengage from UMB, but they take down Aikedo. in the 1-for-1, both. Oh, never mind. Tendy's also died. It's a 2-for-1 for the Bisons, and they'll get to continue their push. It was a good shutdown, I guess, for Samso. Can't do that.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, they could probably push 10 the game right here. They have enough damage. They can do it fast enough.
This is the
They could probably
popular
end the game.
ARAM strategy where you go in one at a time. And
North America's patented technique here. No other region uses it quite like we do.
well, this is the death throes, unfortunately, of the boys. Oh, Samso found a kill. I don't think that they'll be able to do a whole lot. Oh!
Oh, wow.
All right. I should have been actually narrating that fight, I guess. But Tiger Clown's on the Nexus. He doesn't care about your PvP. He is going to kill a tower. And the game is going to stop because, of course, the Riot client doesn't want us to actually see the end of the game. But the Nexus, I'm sure, explodes in just a couple of seconds. And, yeah, congratulations to the University of Manitoba. They take a 2-0 series victory, and they'll go on to face the Ohio State University. It says that on the bracket. I hate it so much.
The Ohio State University, man. You gotta really put the emphasis on the like you're one of the players in the NFL, like stating your position on Monday Night Football. You know.
So that'll be a banger next week in the round of 16. Congratulations again to them on the 2-0 victory. They survived their what looks like a very stacked bracket, and then they'll get the 2-0 advancement. Go ahead and take on an Ohio State University team that went 5-0 in their specific division. So it'll be a tough challenge for them next week, but best of luck to them. Kind of a season in memoriam, though, for Return to the Middlesticks. It was our first season in UML, and I'm honestly really proud of the boys for finishing top half, like qualifying for playoffs in our first season, 4-1 in the regular season. I hope that they can look back on this as a pretty good accomplishment. I know that this series is going to leave a pretty bad taste in their mouth, but
you know what?
Close the thing. You want your channel points? I'll give you their channel points. Sorry about that.
But hopefully the bad taste in their mouths pushes them to really examine these games and why they lost and how they can improve, because that's what you have to do when you suffer a loss like this. You gotta try not to let the loss tilt you too bad after the fact. You gotta really look at it, gotta examine things you could have done better, coach yourself to be better the next time you're in a situation like this. And one silver lining here for them really is that they went out on their own terms. They picked their comfort champs. They picked champs that they wanted to play, not champs that are good in the meta, not champs that necessarily make the most 100% most applicable sense for like a team comp or anything like that. They wanted to have fun with this last game, and it's just sad that it wasn't a closer game than it was.
Yeah. So thank you guys again for joining us. If you would, please hit the follow button if you're not already followed to the channel, as that does really help us out. That'll do it for our UML season. We will be back later this week with our Legends teams action. Those will be from replay whenever I get around to them, so probably Saturday, maybe Sunday. I don't want to promise anything, but that said, again, thank you guys for joining us all split. Special shout out to Psycho. Thank you for the host as well as the subscription. I do really appreciate the support. What is this? U of M is better than all these trash teams? I don't know what the mixed capitalization is supposed to be, but I'm supposed to...
T-Rash? T-Rash? I don't know.
Yeah. That's what I'm going with.
I don't know. Is it similar to like the T-virus or something?
Could be. Anyway, that'll do it for us. And so from myself, Scattercat, Liposuction Lane, who casted game number 1, all of us here at Return to the Middlesticks, again, thank you for joining us. We'll hopefully see you all around, and yeah, we'll see you soon. According to the professional analysts here at the U of M Commons area, is telling me that Elidas and Hwyn are, and I quote, smurfing.
They're tiny blue creatures.
Are they... Smurfs are different colors in other places, right?
They're blue.
Are they blue? I thought that I'd seen that they were different colors in other
Oh, I don't know. I know that Big Bird is different colors in every region of the world.
Yeah, I knew that one. I saw that one recently.
Yeah.
Anyway, I need to find a channel to raid. I guess let's just go raid Upsurge. Why not? Sure. There, it looks like 1-1 between Eastern Michigan University and Wichita Wolves Red. Also in UML action, so go support Upsurge, I guess. Bye. Oh, it's still 5 seconds. Why does it take so long to raid? What is this?
That should started sooner, man. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, I don't really care. It doesn't benefit me. Alright.
All right.
Well, that was depressing. I'm gonna go
Yeah,
to bed.
yeah. Yeah, it was. I also it's harder to find things to talk about when it's such a stomp like that.
Yeah, I was hoping that they could find a way to bring it back. Usually I kind of fall back on jokiness, but like it's hard when my boys are getting smashed not to sympathize and try to find ways for them to win and things like that, but like realistically it was just over and we should have just told some jokes. But
Probably, yeah.
oh, they're going into an ERF game, take out their frustrations.
You know what? That's fair enough.
I hate ERF. Ugh.
Yeah, I'm not a Nerf guy, so I would that would just actually make me more angry if I did it. So
Yeah, ERF is legitimately my least favorite game mode of all time. My wife is saying that I need to get you on for more casts so that you don't feel so out of the loop, which I agree with. I really enjoy casting with you, but
yeah, no, I have a fun time doing it, so I would love to do it more often.
wait, how can they hear me? Oh, I didn't